You believe you are free, yet every step of your life is bound by invisible chains. These chains are forged by those who understand power, while you remain blind to the laws that govern it. In this video, we strip away illusion and confront the truth. Either you master these laws, or you will forever be mastered by them. History does not remember the honest man. It remembers the man who knew how to bend others to his will. Behind every throne, every empire, every fleeting moment of glory, there lies a hidden psychology, one so dark, so dangerous, that those in power would rather you never learn it. The weak cling to morality, while the strong shape reality. Tonight, I will not offer comfort, but weapons, tools forged in cunning and deception, so you may see the world not as you wish it to be, but as it truly is, a battlefield where only the calculating survive. They told you morality is your compass, that if you cling to honesty, kindness, and virtue, you will be rewarded. But tell me, look around you. Do you see the virtuous in command or the cunning? Do you see saints on thrones or wolves dressed as lambs? Morality is not a shield, it is a leash, a device constructed by those who govern to bind the masses in obedience. The law is written not for rulers, but for the ruled. And when the masses accept morality as sacred, they become blind to the one truth that matters. Power bends morality, never the other way around. Consider history. Rome's senators preached honor and civic duty. Yet the empire was built on conquest, deception, and betrayal. Julius Caesar himself swore loyalty to the Republic, until he saw the Republic was merely a prison for his ambition. Did he obey morality? No. He bent morality to justify his rise until daggers finally silenced him. Or take the church in the Middle Ages, preaching humility to the poor, demanding obedience as the highest virtue. And yet, behind cathedral walls, it wielded the greatest political power of its time, crowning kings, sanctioning wars, silencing dissent with threats of eternal fire. Was this morality, or was it the weaponization of morality to keep others weak? Now look closer. Strip away the centuries and observe your own life. How many times has someone invoked morality to control you? A parent reminding you to be good, so you don't bring shame. A boss telling you loyalty is a virtue, while exploiting your silence. A politician claiming integrity, as he lines his pockets with corruption. They wrap their commands in moral language, so you obey without question. Ask yourself, who benefits from your obedience? You, or the one giving the command? Morality, then, is not universal. It is relative, a mask that shifts depending on who wears it. For the poor, morality means submission. For the rich, morality means justification. For rulers, morality is nothing but a performance, staged to make domination appear righteous. Psychology proves this theater. Social scientists call it moral framing. The moment you frame an order as a moral duty, resistance collapses. People feel guilt not for losing, but for disobeying. It is the most efficient form of manipulation because it enslaves the mind before the body. Do you recall Stanley Milgram's experiments? Participants shocked strangers to dangerous levels, simply because a man in a white coat told them it was their duty. Morality was invoked, obedience to authority, the belief in doing the right thing. And so, ordinary people committed extraordinary cruelty. Not because they were evil, but because they believed they were moral. Here lies the paradox. Morality is sold to you as freedom, but in practice, it is control. And the few who see this illusion gain an advantage. They stop asking, what is right? Instead, they ask, what works? The powerful know this. When rulers slaughter thousands, they do not call it murder. They call it justice. When they steal land, they call it destiny. When they silence enemies, call it peace. And the masses, wrapped in moral illusions, believe it. But you, if you wish to rise, you must pierce this veil. Do not reject morality outright. That would expose you. Instead, learn to wield it. Speak of virtue while practicing strategy. Preach loyalty while planning your escape. Appear moral while acting practical. Because morality is theater and the crowd demands a performance. If you refuse to play, you will be exiled. If you play well, you may rule the stage. Consider the lion and the fox. The lion devours openly, ruled by force. The fox deceives quietly, ruled by cunning. Which survives longer in a world ruled by hunters with rifles? The fox, not because it is moral, but because it understands survival is higher than virtue. And so I ask you, when the world demands morality, will you obey blindly? Or will you wear morality as a cloak, discarding it when it no longer serves you? Those who cling to it as truth will forever be pawns. Those who wield it as strategy will step into command. Remember this: morality is never about truth. It is about control. It is the stage prop of the powerful, the lullaby of the weak, and the most dangerous illusion ever sold to mankind. And if you think morality protects you, wait until we unmask its twin enemy, honesty. For honesty is not a virtue either. It is the most elegant trap. Power does not announce itself. It hides. It waits. It walks into the room not as a predator, but as a shadow, dressed in whatever costume the moment demands. Do you think rulers wear their true face? No. They wear the face you want to see. And when you accept the mask as real, you are already conquered. Disguise is the oldest weapon of power. The wolf that survives is not the one who bares its teeth, but the one who slips into the sheepfold unseen. Raw strength may win battles, but appearances win empires. Consider Alexander the Great. He conquered with armies, yes, but he ruled through appearances. When he stepped into Persia, he adopted Persian dress, Persian rituals, Persian gods. To his soldiers, he was a Greek king. To Persians, he was a rightful heir. The disguise was not fabric. It was identity. And through it, he held both friend and enemy in his grasp. Or look to Renaissance courts. A prince never spoke plainly. Every smile, every word, every gesture was a mask. He could not afford truth because truth makes enemies. But disguise makes allies, even false ones. And false allies are still useful until the blade is ready. Now, think of your own world. How often do people reveal their true nature? Your colleague flatters you, but secretly undermines you. Your friend promises loyalty, but speaks your secrets to others. Your lover whispers devotion while dreaming of escape. And you too wear masks. At work, at home, online, everywhere. But here is the critical difference: most wear masks unconsciously as habit. The powerful wear them deliberately as weapons. Psychology proves this. Social perception is rarely about truth. It is about signals. Studies show that humans make judgments in seconds based on appearance, tone, posture. They do not see reality, they see what you allow them to see. This is the battlefield of disguise. Ask yourself, when people look at you, what do they see? Do they see weakness, eagerness, naivety? Or do they see composure, confidence, mystery? Understand this: you do not need to be powerful to look powerful. And if you look powerful long enough, others will treat you as such. Perception shapes reality. Take the example of corporate leaders. The successful CEO is rarely the most intelligent man in the room. He is the one who mastered the mask of authority, the calm voice, the tailored suit, the illusion of control. And because others believed in his mask became his truth. Disguise is not only what you show, it is what you conceal. Silence, for example, is a mask. By saying nothing, you let others project their assumptions onto you. They fill the void with their own illusions, and in doing so, they reveal themselves. Is this not the perfect weapon? Think of the fox in the fables. It survives not because it is stronger than the lion, but because it hides its intent behind charm and cunning. The lion dies in the hunter's trap, but the fox slips away unnoticed. Which do you wish to be? Here is the dark truth: people are addicted to appearances. They do not want the raw, unfiltered truth. It terrifies them. They want the comfort of masks. Give them what they crave, and they will trust you. Deny them, and they will fear you. And fear makes enemies. So you must become an actor. Your stage is every room you enter. Your costume is every word, every glance, every silence. And your script is written not by morality, but by strategy. Do not think of disguise as deception. Think of it as survival. A snake does not reveal its fangs until the strike. A ruler does not reveal his intent until it is too late to resist. The weak expose themselves in search of authenticity. The strong conceal themselves in search of advantage. Authenticity is a luxury of those who do not seek power. But for you, if you seek to rise, disguise is your shield, your sword, and your crown. So I ask you, when the moment comes, will you show your face, or the mask they most desire to see? Your survival depends on the answer. Because disguise is only the beginning. Power is not seized in a frenzy. It is harvested like a crop, slowly, silently. With patience sharper than any sword, the fool lunges at opportunity the moment it appears. The wise man waits. Because opportunity is never ripe at first glance. It must be cultivated, fattened, made vulnerable. The predator that strikes too soon returns hungry. The predator that waits feeds for a lifetime. History whispers this lesson. Consider Augustus, heir of Julius Caesar. When Caesar was killed, Rome drowned in chaos. Rivals rushed for the throne, grasping at power with bloody hands. But Augustus did not seize openly. He played weak, humble, a mere boy unfit to rule. He allowed others to exhaust themselves in battle, to burn their resources, to reveal their ambition. And when the time was perfect, when every enemy was tired, divided, and desperate, he stepped forward, not as a usurper, but as the savior of Rome. This is patience, the art of waiting until your enemies destroy themselves for you. Or take the Medici in Florence. They did not storm the city with armies. They embedded themselves like roots. They loaned money, built alliances, placed loyal men in key positions. Years passed, decades, and when Florence was weak enough, the Medici rose as if their rule was destiny. No sudden strike, only slow suffocation of rivals, until there was no one left to resist. Now, turn inward, ask yourself, how often have you ruined advantage by moving too soon? You see insult, and you retaliate. You see opportunity, and you leap. And in your haste, you reveal your hunger. The moment others see your hunger, they prepare against you. You show your hand, and the game is lost. Patience is not weakness. It is calculation. It is the discipline to see 10 moves ahead while others only see one. In psychology, this is called delayed gratification. Experiments prove that those who can endure discomfort now for greater reward later always rise higher than those enslaved by impulse. The same rule governs power. The one who can wait, who can suffer silently while planning, becomes unstoppable. Look at nature. The spider does not chase its prey. It weaves its web and waits, hours, days. The fly comes willingly, tangled in threads it cannot see. The spider wastes no energy. It strikes only when victory is certain. This is the law of predators. This is the law of rulers. In war, generals who rush into battle perish. Napoleon himself, master of conquest, fell when he lost patience. His hunger drove him into Russia before winter, before his supply lines were secure. Impatience turned the greatest army in Europe into frozen corpses. Had he waited, the map of history might bear his crown still. Your life is no different. At work, the colleague who exposes his ambition too early is marked as a threat. He is watched, sabotaged, passed over. But the one who waits, who masters ambition, who bides his time, he rises without resistance, because no one feared him until it was too late. Patience is psychological warfare. When you delay action, you create unease. The enemy waits for your move, grows restless, makes mistakes. Their fear becomes the weapon you never had to sharpen. The longer you wait, the more desperate they become. Until they destroy themselves out of anxiety, you win by standing still. But beware, patience is not passivity. To wait without preparation is to rot. True patience is active. It watches, gathers information, builds networks, prepares the trap. Like a snake coiled in silence, every muscle ready, every strike measured. The silence is not weakness. It is the prelude to inevitability. So I ask you, can you endure silence? Can you resist the hunger to act before the time is right? Can you sit in the shadows, smiling, while your enemies waste themselves in noise and chaos? If you can, then when the moment finally comes, you will not need to fight. You will only need to claim what has already been surrendered. The world belongs not to the impatient, but to the predator who waits, the one who moves last and therefore moves best. But patience alone is not enough. Once the moment arrives, you must decide how much of yourself you reveal and how much remains hidden behind the mask. They taught you that honesty is noble. That truth builds trust, that by revealing your heart, you will be rewarded with respect. But look closely. Who prospers by this rule? Is it the man who speaks plainly, or the one who knows when to stay silent? Is it the woman who reveals her intentions, or the one who conceals them until the strike? Honesty is not strength. Honesty is exposure. To reveal your thoughts is to hand another man the map of your soul. And the moment he holds that map, you are no longer the master of yourself. Consider rulers of the past. Richard III of England declared his ambition openly, making no secret of his hunger for power. What did it earn him? Enemies who united against him, destroying him at Bosworth Field. Contrast him with Elizabeth I, who concealed her motives behind smiles, delays, and riddles. No one knew where she stood until the moment she acted, and by then her enemies were powerless. One king fell for his honesty. One queen endured by her disguise. History repeats this lesson endlessly. During the Cold War, America and the Soviet Union did not speak truths. They traded lies, secrets, and half-revealed intentions. Because in matters of power, truth is a weapon best reserved, never freely given. The nation that reveals its hand first always loses. And yet, in your own life, how often are you told to be honest? Your boss demands you, speak openly, but uses your words against you. Your partner insists on total transparency, yet judges you when you reveal weakness. Your friends say, "Tell me everything," then whisper your secrets to others. Is this honesty strengthening you or weakening you? Psychology confirms it. Studies on negotiation show that those who reveal their bottom line too early are crushed. The counterpart exploits their openness, pushing until there is nothing left to give. In politics, leaders who confess their plans invite sabotage. In business, entrepreneurs who reveal their strategy see it stolen. And in daily life, the person who confesses too much is the person others quietly control. Ask yourself, why do people demand your honesty? Is it truly for connection, or is it to strip you bare, to leave you defenseless? Honesty is the currency of the powerless. It benefits not the speaker, but the listener. Does this mean you must always lie? No. A lie spoken poorly is more dangerous than the truth. Instead, you must master selective honesty. Reveal what strengthens you. Conceal what weakens you. Offer small truths to gain trust, while guarding the truths that matter. Think of the card player. He shows a smile, a casual glance, perhaps even a losing hand. But the real cards, the winning cards, remain hidden until the table is silent. The fools reveal early and fall. The wise reveal late and win. Even in war, deception reigns supreme. Sun Tzu wrote all warfare is based on deception. Generals feigned weakness to lure enemies into traps. They did not say, "Here is my army, here are my tactics." They disguised strength as weakness, and weakness as strength. Honesty would have meant death, and in politics the same law governs. Do you think modern leaders tell their people the full truth? No. They release fragments, carefully chosen truths, wrapped in the cloak of honesty. Enough to appear sincere, never enough to lose control. So, I ask you, how often have you sabotaged yourself by speaking too freely? How often have you confessed in the name of honesty, only to feel the blade pressed deeper as a result? And when it happened, did you still call honesty a virtue? Or did you finally see it as a trap? Understand, this honesty is not a universal good. It is a tool, a blade, sharp enough to win trust, but sharper still when it cuts its wielder. If you wield it carefully, it can open doors. If you wield it carelessly, it will bleed you dry. The powerful do not abandon honesty, they weaponize it. They use it sparingly, strategically, offering it as bait when needed. A false sense of openness that draws others closer, blind to the hidden dagger. So I leave you with this choice. Will you continue to bear yourself in the name of virtue, or will you learn to master silence, deception, and the selective drip of truth? Because the next law is far darker, not just how to control your words, but how to control the entire theater of perception, where honesty and lies become meaningless, and only influence remains. Life is not truth. Life is theater. And the stage belongs not to the honest, but to the director who writes the script, casts the roles, and manipulates the audience. You may think people act from reason, that they choose freely. But in reality, most people move like actors who do not know they are on stage. They speak lines written for them by rulers, lovers, bosses, priests, and the strongest among us are not the actors. They are the playwrights. Do you wish to rule? Then you must stop playing on someone else's stage. You must learn to design the theater of control, where every word, every silence, every gesture draws the crowd deeper into your performance. History offers countless lessons. Consider Louis XIV, the Sun King of France. He understood that raw force was not enough, so he turned his court into a theater. Every ritual, every costume, every bow and dance at Versailles was designed to remind nobles of their place. By making them actors in his play, he made them dependent on him for their roles. They thought they were honored. In truth, they were shackled by ceremony. Or look to modern politics. Debates, speeches, campaigns, all are theater. The leader who controls the stage controls the people. The masses do not analyze policies. They respond to symbols, to stories, to performances. A raised eyebrow, a carefully timed pause, a staged moment of humility. These move nations more than numbers ever will. And you, do not imagine this theater is limited to kings and presidents. You perform every day. At work, you craft an image to persuade your superiors. In relationships, you hide your flaws to appear desirable. Online, you curate fragments of yourself to project power or charm. You may not admit it, but you are acting constantly. The only difference is whether you control the play or remain a puppet in someone else's script. Psychology exposes the secret. Humans do not want reality, they want meaning. Experiments show that people trust confidence over competence, appearance over truth. They are drawn to those who create narrative coherence, even if the story is false. This is the essence of theater. Reality matters less than perception, and perception is always under your control, if you know how to wield it. Think of influence as a stage with 3 layers. First, the script. This is the story you tell. About yourself, about others, about the situation. It frames the choices available, and those who accept the frame are already bound by it. If you define the narrative, you win before the conflict begins. Second, the stagecraft. These are appearances, symbols, gestures, environments. The general in uniform, the CEO in tailored suits, the priest in robes. Clothes, settings, even lighting, all shape the perception of authority. Never underestimate the props of power. Third, the audience management. You must understand what each person wants to see. Some crave strength. Others crave compassion. Some want mystery, others clarity. By giving each audience the performance they need, you bind them to you willingly. Ask yourself, are you directing or merely reacting? Are you writing the play or stumbling through someone else's script? Most people live as extras in another man's theater. The few who awaken to this truth rise above the crowd, shaping perception until reality bends. Consider propaganda. It is nothing more than theater on a national scale. Flags, anthems, slogans, all carefully staged symbols that bypass reason and sink into emotion. The people believe they are thinking freely, yet their minds follow the rhythm of the script laid before them. Is this not the ultimate form of control? In your own life, the principle is the same. Do not argue with people, stage the conversation. Do not demand loyalty. Create rituals and symbols that bind loyalty silently. Do not reveal your power openly. Let them believe they chose you, that they followed willingly, that they acted freely. A good theater leaves the audience entertained. A masterful theater leaves them enslaved without ever realizing it. So I ask you, will you remain a character in the play of others, or will you step into the role of playwright? The power you seek is not in brute force, but in crafting the world as performance. The stage is already set. The question is, who is truly directing it? Because after the theater comes something even more dangerous, knowledge so forbidden that society itself conspires to keep it from you. Knowledge that turns masks, patience, and theater into weapons of absolute dominance. There are truths you are not meant to know, truths buried beneath morality, hidden behind religion, concealed by the rulers of every age. Not because these truths are false, but because they are too dangerous if believed by the many. Power survives by secrecy. The masses are told stories of virtue, faith, equality. But behind the curtain, rulers practice something different, the cold mechanics of manipulation. And the greatest trick of power is convincing the world that these mechanics do not exist. Ask yourself, why do leaders preach honesty while practicing deception? Why do they praise sacrifice while hoarding wealth? Why do they demand obedience while exercising absolute freedom themselves? The answer is simple. They understand the forbidden knowledge, the laws of power. History shows us how this knowledge is guarded. The Egyptian priests knew astronomy, medicine, mathematics, sciences far beyond the people. But they cloaked it in religion, in rituals only they could perform. This monopoly of knowledge gave them control. The people bowed not to truth, but to ignorance, and the priests ruled unchallenged. Or consider medieval Europe. For centuries, the Church forbade the translation of the Bible into local tongues. Why? Because the people must never read for themselves. The priests alone could interpret truth, and in this monopoly lay their power. Knowledge hidden is power preserved. Even in modern times, the same pattern repeats. Governments classify documents, censor speech, and flood the masses with distractions. Not because the people could not understand, but because, if they did, control would vanish. The illusion of freedom thrives only when the machinery of control is invisible. But here you are, listening, peering through cracks in the illusion. Do you see why this knowledge is called forbidden? Because once you glimpse it, you cannot return to innocence. You cannot be comforted by the stories that keep others asleep. Psychology confirms it. Human beings crave certainty. They want the world simple, moral, divided into right and wrong. To reveal the machinery behind the illusion causes fear, even madness. Most reject it, clinging to lies rather than facing truth. That is why rulers need not silence everyone, only most. The rest silence themselves. But you, if you dare, must ask what happens if you accept this knowledge. If you stop believing in the fairy tales of morality and see the world as it is, you gain an advantage that others cannot even imagine. Because while they argue about right and wrong, you act. While they hesitate over principles, you advance. While they bind themselves to illusions, you slip free. Forbidden knowledge is not mystical, it is practical. It is the understanding that power is perception, not reality. That truth is flexible, bent by those strong enough to shape it. That morality, honesty, patience, disguise, all are tools in the same arsenal. It is the recognition that human beings are not noble creatures. They are predictable, fearful, and easily led when you hold the right strings. Look to modern propaganda. Leaders do not hide that they manipulate images, symbols, stories, yet the masses still believe. They need to believe, and that need is your opening. Once you see this, you stand above them, not as their equal, but as their director. Do you see why society hides this knowledge? Because if every man knew it, chaos would follow. If every soldier saw through patriotism, armies would collapse. If every worker saw through loyalty, industries would fall. If every believer saw through ritual, religions would shatter. Civilization itself depends on most people never touching this truth. But you are not most people. You would not be here if you were. You seek what others fear. And in that hunger lies your separation from the herd. Yet beware. Forbidden knowledge is a blade with two edges. It gives you vision, but it also isolates you. You will see illusions where others see truth, and they will call you cynical, dangerous, even mad. To master this knowledge, you must walk alone, carrying secrets others cannot bear. So I ask you, are you willing to bear the weight of clarity, to stand apart from the crowd, knowing you can never return to ignorance? If so, you hold in your hands the keys that rulers of every age have guarded with blood. This is why the laws of power are whispered, never shouted. They are not meant for everyone. They are meant for the few who dare to rise. And if you are one of those few, then prepare yourself, because the moment you step beyond illusion, there is no turning back. The world will never look the same again. Control is most effective when it is unseen. Chains that are visible inspire rebellion. But chains hidden in the mind are worn willingly. This is the essence of power, not force. Not open command, but the silent shaping of perception. When people believe they act freely, yet move exactly where you lead them, you have mastered them. They defend the very illusions that bind them. And you, hidden behind the curtain, rule without resistance. Ask yourself, would you rather command with fear or guide without notice? The latter endures. The latter cannot be challenged, because no one fights a prison they cannot see. Reflect on this truth, and then ask, how many times have you been led without knowing? Now, I want to hear from you. Comment your thoughts below. Your experiences, your struggles, your insights. Subscribe if you hunger for more strategies hidden from the masses. And share this with someone who still believes control is obvious. For the most dangerous power is the one no one notices.